Well, welcome once again to Calaveras Living, and of course the summer is passing very quickly, and good celebration from the 4th of July is coming up in Angels Camp, and then later in the year we'll have Gold Rush Days in October. And in fact, a lot of things are happening in Angels Camp, and we're going to talk today with Forrest, who does a number of things there, and she is the chairperson for the 4th of July celebration and also for Gold Rush Days, and she's also president of Deatination Angels Camp. It's good to see you.
Nice to be here. Thank you, John.
You're a busy time of the year?
It
I guess
is.
Maybe all year is
all
busy.
year is a busy time of the year.
Okay. Well, let's start with 4th of July.
Okay.
And of course, coincidentally,
Okay.
good planning, it's on the 4th.
Yes. Well, it is on Saturday the 4th.
Yeah.
This is the 4th year that the city has sponsored a picnic in the park at Utica Park. We've made it, we tried to make it an old-fashioned family picnic, and lots of games from tug-of-war and sack races and watermelon seed spitting for adults and for kids. And but the main feature of the day is a salute to veterans. So we have a reading of the Declaration of Independence, and of course someone sings the Star Spangled Banner and everybody sings God Bless America. And then Captain Jim Dodge, U.S. Navy retired, is the MC. The Copperopolis VFW provides the color guard and helps enormously. And then we recognize each veteran that's in the audience, and ask by name, by rank, and the war that they were in.
The older ones and the younger ones,
yes,
too.
And this year, obviously, we always put an emphasis on the World War II vets because each year there are fewer of them that can come. But this year we're really putting special emphasis on the Korean, the Vietnam, and then Afghanistan and Iraq veterans. And so hope that they will come and be there, sign in, get recognized. We also have Gail Belmont, who is the founder and executive director, president of Quilts of Honor down in Valley Springs. It's nationally known, and she will be presenting quilts to some of the veterans. So it's really a calling all veterans and their families, and I know 4th of July is a very busy day, but if you could come between 1 and 2 to Utica Park, we will have handicap parking available, and have your veterans, family members, husbands, wives. We have a number of women who are now there, and let them be recognized for their service to the country.
Basically it'll go on all afternoon?
It starts at 12 and goes to 5, and we have the fabulous Off Brothers, which is Angels Camps locally, but has huge following. They will be playing. We'll have the patriotic music as well, games, lots of food, vendors. It's just a really nice, fun day.
Okay, realistically, how many veterans would you expect would be able to come?
Well, last year we had about 110 that showed up, and we hope to have more. Al Gilbert from the Copper VFW has been, we've been taking these flyers around to all the VA clinics and to the various veterans groups to try to get the word out. We also handed them out at the fairgrounds, handed out thousands of them, so hopefully we expect this to grow every year.
Are they posted around town too?
Yes,
various
they
places?
will be as of this weekend.
Okay. Actually, it'd be great to name each veteran. That'll take a while, but it's worth it.
They come in and they sign in a book, and then Jim reads every name.
Wow.
And so it's really quite heartwarming to see this, you know, and it's good for children who, you know, so many younger people are not really exposed to war, and it's just really good to see. And they're all very proud, and of course, because it is a military ceremony, and Jim Dodge and all the veterans that are involved in setting it up, I mean, it runs, we don't fool around, it is correct.
Well, he was a jet pilot, so he knows what he's doing. Who's going to sing the anthem?
Denny Orovec, who has
I know Denny.
Beautiful voice, and then she'll lead the
God Bless
crowd
America.
in God Bless America, and Bill Soest, who is one of the partners in Market 49, which is a new restaurant and deli in Angels
I hear
Camp.
that's doing well too.
It is,
Yeah.
and but Bill has the most amazing radio voice, and he reads the Declaration of Independence, and a lot of us, it's good to hear that every year.
That should be a good celebration. Last year, how many just public attending?
We just around 1,000.
Oh, that's good.
And which is a good crowd.
Sure.
And I mean, the park could take 2 or 3 times that many, at least. But we added vendors, and they did very well. And now we still have room for more vendors, arts, crafts, whatever people want. And we will have some of the farmers market vendors there, and then people can buy food, taste wine.
Okay, any vendors who wanted to participate, they would just call the chamber?
They would call, yes, they can call the number on the screen.
Okay, very good. Okay, we pretty much covered the 4th of July?
It, yes.
Okay, hey, you're good.
Everybody to come.
And Gold Rush Days is coming in October 17th.
Gold Rush Day, again, the 4th. This is all done by the Angels Camp Commemorative Committee, and we were working with the city. We got a lot of funding from the city for this. And it is the only time during the year when Main Street is closed for the whole day. It takes a lot of coordination, a lot of logistics to do that, and it's also expensive because we are a state highway, so it's a big deal. But it's growing every year. Last year we had about a little over 6,000 people from all over the world. We had people from Asia and Europe, Canada, and Mexico, as well as all over the West Coast. And this year, it's Saturday, October 17, from 10 to 5, and we expect, we don't expect, we are honoring or celebrating the 150th anniversary of Mark Twain's 88 Days in the Motherlode, and the writing of the tale of the celebrated jumping frog of Calaveras County. So there's going to be a lot more of the Gold Rush theme and music, and and obviously Mark Twain will be there. Henry Angel always shows up, and we'll have a really good time.
Yeah, Mark Twain, Mr. Connert.
Yes.
Yeah, what a nice guy.
Yes.
And he does such a good job.
He is wonderful, and everybody wants to have their picture taken with him. Another small feature, but it's that people love it, is Charlie Chatfield, who lives up in Amador County, is himself a gold prospector, and he comes down with his authentic pup tent and all, the way the prospectors used to go out and stake a claim and prospect for gold. And he sits there or stands there and talks to kids and explains all this, and they are absolutely fascinated.
Oh, yeah. Well, it must have been a hard life, especially if you didn't find any gold.
Right, and especially in the heat.
Yes.
But he looks the part with the long beard and the whole thing, and teenagers and young people just stand around and listen to his stories there. So we'll have the Kit Carson Mountain Men, we'll have a lot of this gold rock crushing to show how that was done, and panning for gold, and good music, lots of fun.
Now, it's your job to coordinate all these activities on both events, right?
I make sure they are being coordinated, yes.
Well, I mean, you coordinate the coordinators.
Yes. And it gets a little bit easier every year. We started this 4 years ago to celebrate the centennial of Angels Camp becoming a city, and then we just wanted to keep it going, and now it takes 4, 5, 6 years for an event to really take root and get known, and yet you have to change it every year, so it's interesting for people
to come back.
And it's again a good family event. It's very sort of different from some of the other big street closing events around the area, but we've never had any problems, and there's lots of food and wine tasting and beer booths and bands and all sorts of things.
Once again, do you still need some vendors for that?
We definitely want vendors. We have room for, last year we had 75 vendors. We could take up to probably 100 in the downtown area. Food, crafts, anything. And they can call, again, the number on the screen, or they can call the Angels Camp Business Association.
Okay, and you see the number on the screen, 209-736-0088? Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah.
We covered everything.
I think we have.
You've covered it again. You don't need me. I can just sit here and say, here's Ann Forrest. But anyway, let's move on to your duties as president of Deatination Angels Camp.
Okay.
How long has that been formed?
It's just 3 years old, and it's a 501c3, a charity, and a public-private partnership with the city of Angels Camp.
Okay.
And to do their economic development activities for them.
Okay, I guess the logical question is, how has that been working in those 3 years? Has it developed some incoming businesses and better things for current businesses?
I hope so.
Okay.
I think there's an improving business climate, so we can't take credit for that. Things are getting better. Our local businesses are feeling better and more optimistic, and other businesses or entrepreneurs are thinking they'll get something started. And so that's just a natural occurrence. But when you think about the fact that people have a choice, if they want to be in Calaveras County, they've got 6 or 10 locations that they can go to. So we feel like we've made enough noise and gotten enough public relations, publicity out about Angels Camp. So what we're hearing from people is they're saying, gee, stuff is happening in Angels Camp. That's the place to be. Yeah. And that then attracts small businesses. And that's really what we're going to end up bringing in. Business entrepreneurs that want to start something, like Chris Abasadi that just started Sugar Bakery in downtown. She's a brand new entrepreneur. Or it will be people who maybe have a location, Sutter Creek, Jackson, Sonora, and want a second one. And Rolling Dough Pizza from here in San Andreas moved to Angels Camp about 1.5 years ago. The Clothes Mine came from Sutter Creek, so now here in San Andreas. And the Chicken Barn established a location. They're well established in Modesto. So we're attracting those people. So we don't have to say we grabbed them and put them inside a business, but we're there to do that. We have we have programs to help new businesses that are coming in, and I can tell you about those.
Okay, before you do that though, do any people from out of town who aren't that familiar with Angels Camp come up and look around, and are they put off somewhat by the bypass, thinking Angels Camp has lost some business over the years that the bypass has been there?
I don't think so, because Angels Camp has a real deterrent, because at one point there were the 2 state highways that are Main Street, so we lose control of our Main Street by having it be a state highway. And most successful towns have a bypass. Jamestown, Murphy's, Sutter Creek. I mean, it takes some time to adjust to that, but all that traffic did that was going up for skiing or camping was clutter up Main Street and back up traffic. So
I always thought that they might stop and shop.
Well, I think the more we put in gateway signs and welcome signs and things like that, that we'll see an increase. But for the second homeowner that's heading up to Forest Meadows or Arnold, they weren't going to stop anyway, and all they did was come through Main Street. And but people know that the grocery stores are there. Our biggest balk comes from, of course, the Worldmark Resort, which is a timeshare, brings in a couple thousand people a week into Angels Camp. And they use that as the base camp to get out all over the area. So it's not that much of a problem.
Yeah. Couldn't Angels Camp use 1 or 2 more good restaurants?
They could. And I think we'll see them coming up very soon. And of course, the Utica Hotel was just purchased, and that has been empty for 15 or 20 or more years. Time. And it was just a real drag having that big empty space there. And they've got good owners who have done this before. And one of the things that Destination Angels Camp is doing is helping the new owners find tenants to go into retail, restaurant, bar, hotel management, and other things like that.
Okay, well, maybe we can get into how are you doing that now? How are you going out and recruiting?
Okay, well,
or making known good information, maybe.
We have in mid-November we hired didn't hire. He's not an employee. We retained the services of a professional economic development person, a business recruiter, and.
Is it he or she?
Randy Starbuck.
Where is he located?
He lives in Elk Grove.
Oh, okay.
He was the Director of Economic Development for Elk Grove until last autumn. And he has got 30 years experience. And he is a real salesman. Okay. And he is not afraid to knock on doors and make phone calls. And he's helping to get the word out about Angels Camp.
Does he devote himself full-time to Angels Camp?
No, he has a number of clients. He has his own consulting firm, and but he's on the board of CalEd, which is the California Association of Local Economic Development, and so he has all these contacts, and by the fact that he's even representing a small town like Angels Camp in these circles of developers and brokers and retailers makes a difference for us, because there are not many towns the size of Angels Camp that are doing what we're doing. Yeah. In fact, there are very few.
That brings up, what's the current population?
A little over 3,500.
Okay, because I see signs around here, Murphy's, Angels Camp, all the signs seem to be wrong.
Oh, well, they're probably.
Yeah, I mean, at one end of Murphy's it says one thing, the other end of Murphy's it says another. And I said, where are these people?
One of our former city council members, Jack Lidge, used to find that absolutely infuriating, and probably still does.
Well, I'm kind of with him. Well, that's good to have that recruiter then.
Yeah,
how long has he been with you now?
Since he's been with us 6 months, and we've done a number of things, because he can't just go out and say, hey, you should look at Angels Camp. It's a really nice place, and I like those people, and they're paying me. Yeah. So that's not going to get...
If he said, I like those people, they're not paying me, maybe it'd motivate him more. Yeah.
And so he's been working with the city, and then the city had some grants. We have to have statistics. Businesses make location decisions totally on the numbers. They don't care whether you're nice people or you're wearing pink and purple or whatever it is. That doesn't make it. It's all by the numbers. Yeah. Does it fit the numbers? We might talk to you. Yeah. And so we have been accumulating all the numbers. We have a research that's just completed its first round, which looks at our trade area and customer base and their propensity to buy this, that, and the other thing, and then that material is put together. So if we want to contact a retailer or a restaurant that's a chain location, you can compare to their other locations and how Angels Camp compares, and would it fit into their target market. And then immediately they'll say yes or no. Just
so that shows demographics too.
The demographics, the psychographics, what kind, and so all of that is available. Randy can tailor a package, and we also have. We've been spending time getting down in writing what we call the fast track for planning and permitting in Angels Camp. So time is money for these retailers.
So you're trying to make it easier. Yeah, okay.
And then what we've done, because before we would have armed him with a package this steep, and no business or recruiter or locator, someone who makes those kinds of decisions, really wants to go home with packages like this from every city they talk to. So it's hard. This is hard to see.
Well, maybe hold that up kind of close to your face. And,
maybe that with the skin through it. We did this little flash drive, It's on a cork with the little bottle, and on the logo for Angels Camp with Redefining the Rush is there. And since we are the Gold Rush area, we have some pyrite in there so that they will remember us. And on this is located all this data about
Wow.
Angels Camp. And any of the brochures or anything we have is all on here. And it can be tailored for the person that's getting the flash drive.
Whose idea was that?
That was actually Randy's idea.
That's a good idea.
Because people, when he goes to a conference, and certainly we've been to some of the big shopping center conferences in Las Vegas. I mean, you could walk away with 3 suitcases full of paperwork, and then you tend to toss it out. This way, not only do they get the flash drive, but they give something that singles us out. So
Well, that's something you'd put on a shelf or something at home. I mean,
Right.
you'd see it often.
right, and then even if it gets lost, you know that it's not something a little different. We're probably going to brand the top.
No, that's good.
But
You were
that's
talking
that.
about the brochures.
Yeah.
And maybe hand me that.
Okay.
And I'll take a peek at this. Is
Then
There's a business incentive program, and I'll hold it up here so you can take a peek at it. But this tells about the incentive, why people should think of locating their businesses.
Another idea that one of our board members had, and we started this about a year ago, but we've really trying to promote it now, is the business incentive program. We might be, most times when cities are attracting new business, they might have, the incentive programs come from the government, tax-free period, or they'll put in the infrastructure, whatever. Well, Angels Camp is just too small to offer those kinds of expensive incentives. So we put together a program, and we have over 30 businesses in the area that have agreed to sponsor this. And if a new business comes into town, they sign up with us. We give them a little, like a debit card, and they go into Cal Lumber, or they go to Angels Sewer and Plumbing, and say, I'm part of the business incentive program, and they get 25% off the first $1,000 they spend at each one of these places. So for printing, uniforms, plastering, painting, cabinetry, flooring, furniture, all of that, they can get 25% off the first 1,000.
That really adds up.
So it adds up to about $7,000 or $8,000 if they use that. And for a small business going in, all that stuff really counts.
True.
Plus downtown we have free Wi-Fi, and with with working with H-Star Communications, they can set up a system where they still are password protected, but that saves them money as well.
Yeah, in
So-
fact, Tim Hildebrand's been
Yeah.
on the show here and
Right.
knows everybody here, and he's doing good work.
Yeah.
Let me hold up. Excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead. I was just going to say, we had someone did some marketing for us late last year, and did a lot of research and could not find another town or city in the United States that's doing a program like this.
Well, that's
So,
good. Let me hold this up too,
Okay.
because time's going by quickly. But this is a guide to starting a business at Angels Camp, a new business welcome kit. So this is a welcome kit for people.
anybody that's interested. So we have those, as well as this sign that we've put at the bank, bank tellers and the city hall, planning department, and this basically compiles all sorts of information, the guide to starting a business, the information about the incentive program. We have a wonderful map in there, the 49 things to do from Angels Camp. We've thrown in the membership form for the Angels Camp Business Association. So they're handing them out when someone comes in to get a business license at City Hall. They get one of these packets. If they go in to talk about at the planning department on permits or any of that building, they get one of these packets. And this is only about a month and a half old, but the realtors.
Very nicely, it's
yeah.
packaged in plastic, but it's got a button up here, and you can
Yep.
slip it in there. That's good.
That's it.
But that's kind of expensive to put together, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit, but we want people to know that, Angels Camp, and you hear this from a lot of places, but Angels Camp is open for business. City council, city government, and the businesses are welcoming new businesses. And we really want to make sure that they come in, they get off to a good start, and that they're successful, because it doesn't help anybody to have somebody start a business in 6 months they fold.
Yeah.
Or 12 months they fold. We want sustainable businesses that give good jobs to people in this area.
Seems like basically what you've tried to do in the last few years is kind of an attitudinal change in Angels Camp with the people who administer it.
Yes, we've seen, well, we have a really good city staff in Angels Camp with, I think, a really good attitude, and it's just been wonderful to work with them. And they know that the only way we're going to get out of a recession and that is to grow, you know, and we need to grow. And we also know that it's not going to be the big box stores coming in that's going to make us grow. It's going to be small and medium-sized businesses. That's the kind of property we have there, too.
Yeah.
You know.
And people don't want to come in and start a small business and think a big box store is going to come and take some of it away,
right.
or all of it.
So eventually, we probably will have, you know, because we are sort of the commercial center for the county.
Yeah.
But we're, you know, it's going to be the small and medium size. We're coming up this year. We're going to offer classes for business people too.
Oh, good.
And a class on franchising, because a lot of the regional and national, you know, businesses want franchises.
Okay. Is there anything we haven't covered?
I
think
don't think so.
You did a good job of covering 4th of July and Gold Rush Days and what's happening in Angels Camp. Let me see that. I didn't quite see what it says on it, too. It says, ask for our new business welcome kit. Okay, and you say you place that around in banks.
And then we hand them, and they're at realtors and banks, and anybody that says, gee, I'm thinking about opening a business in Angels Camp, I hope is getting one of these packages.
Well, very good. Ann, thanks a lot for coming on.
Thank you, John. I really appreciate it.
Our pleasure, and anything that can promote the whole area is good for everybody.
Yes, that's right.
Anyway, there went half hour. But when you're getting good information, that's a big help. So we hope you join us again next time on Calaveras Living. Thanks.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Very good.